Hello everybody and welcome back to the F1 My Team career mode with me, Dan, and of course the Radiant Racing team. We're halfway through the week now. It is round 3. We return to Portimao in Portugal. I've raced which has pretty much been on the calendar, I think, continuously since it was added all the way back in, what was it, the first free DLC for F1 2021, all the way last year. So clearly has had a positive impact not only on myself but also on Nick, as he was adding it to the calendar for the co-op career. Anyway, yes, I was gonna modify the video format. I just couldn't really figure out how to make it interesting, unfortunately. So we're just gonna stick with the current format until I can figure out a way to improve it. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. And we move on to the starting grid, and it is a Red Bull front row lockout with Sergio Perez taking pole position ahead of teammate Max Verstappen, followed by the two Mercedes of Lewis Hamilton and Valtteri Bottas. Then we have Carlos Sainz, he's alongside us in P5 and P6. Then we have Pierre Gasly, who once again gets into the top 10 ahead of Charles Leclerc. And rounding out the top 10, we have Lando Norris and Sean Gelael, our teammates. Moving further down the order, we have Daniel Ricciardo in the other McLaren alongside Yuki Tsunoda, and behind them we have Fernando Alonso alongside his teammate Esteban Ocon in the Alpines. Then we have Lance Stroll, he is once again alongside Williams driver George Russell, followed by the other Aston Martin of Jack Aitken, the young rookie, and Mick Schumacher. Then we have Nicholas Latifi and Antonio Giovinazzi rounding out the top 20, followed by Christian Lundgaard and Nikita Mazepin. Well, here we are on the starting grid. We're on the third row, which isn't ideal, although we are already 2 races into the championship. That has changed, however. We have moved ahead of Valtteri Bottas, and now we're challenging Carlos Sainz for P4 now. As we go through turn 1, our teammate actually has moved up a couple of positions as well, Sean Gelael. Oh, he has lost one, I spoke too soon. But he is, of course, Sean Gelael, so what more can you expect? As we charge round Portimao after Carlos Sainz in the Ferrari, he's having one of Ferrari's most impressive results for a while, at least for the few corners of this Grand Prix that we've actually had of the 17 laps. Ferrari not really been on the pace, though, as we have a massive touch of oversteer going through one of the many corners and powering down towards the roller coaster section, down the hill and then to the left, back up the hill, a complete U-turn, and then, well, back down the hill again. Let's go on board at the start of the race. And it's sloppy for Valtteri Bottas there, caught napping. And we try to go the up the inside of Carlos Sainz, hit that massive sausage curb, which is more like just a giant snake, which has been butchered and slapped on the side of the circuit. And, well, nearly throw him off the road. This was Sean Gelael starting from P10. Having another good start for the team. He gets past McLaren. There goes Charles Leclerc. Goes around the outside into turn 1. Of course, some of the other cars around him are on the medium tyre, which may explain how he's actually competing so well against them. But you can see there's another Ferrari along, that is just Leclerc alongside him there. But he does manage to get the best of him and holds on to P8. As we rejoin at the end of lap 2. Coming down the pit straight now, we have Carlos Sainz ahead of us. Into the slipstream we go, and not making any kind of progress so far. At least, talking of progress, I was going to attempt to show more of the behind the scenes of the My Team career. Unfortunately, I was just trying to edit the footage, and I could not think of a way of getting that footage to look interesting, doing a post commentary on it. Because the problem is, my girlfriend does sit in the same room behind me and does go live and make TikToks on Twitch as well. So, you know, there's too much background noise for me to record this when I'm actually playing the game. And afterwards, it's just a little bit crap. So I decided just to drop it and stick with what I know and love how to make. And, well, hopefully it's good enough for everyone else. If it isn't, then, you know, that's on me to try and figure out what people do like and try and make something a bit more interesting. What that will turn into, I do not know. I'm not the fountain of all knowledge, so I have no idea what I'm going to do with these videos going forward in F1 22 as well. Maybe I'll be able to do that sort of feature for the first few races, because I'll be home alone. Anyway, we go up the inside of Carlos Sainz into turn 1 now. We hit that massive snake of a sausage curb again, have a bit of oversteer. And, well, although we forced him off the track, Max Verstappen style, we've got the position back from him. We've got the position from him. And we move up into P4. Meanwhile, further down the order, Sean Galeo. Oh, he's just moved up 2 positions there. Are we about to see something special from him? Perhaps not. We'll have to see in a minute. This is our onboard. Massive overspeed on the Ferrari. Again, crashing into that curb. Although, to be fair, it is pretty fun to do that. And then round the next couple of corners. Carlos Sainz caught napping there. Let's go on board with him. You just see us go flying past there. And Carlos Sainz, damage limitation for Ferrari, just decides to let us go. Anyway, this is Sean Galeo up against Pierre Gasly and Valtteri Bottas. Bottas and Gasly battling hard there. One on softs, one on mediums. Gives Sean Galeo an opportunity. He goes down the inside of both of them, but for some reason just forgets which pedal to make him go faster, and unfortunately has missed out. Anyway, he's now trying to get alongside the battling pair. Not made an effort though. Anyway, this was the following lap. Gasly forced wide by Bottas, and Sean Galeo actually crashes into Pierre Gasly and decides at that point that enough is enough, and he's had it with these motherfucking sausage curbs on this motherfucking track, and has decided to retire from the race after a minor collision.
Box.
This has, of course, called out the safety car for obvious reasons. Sean Galeo, with that small end plate damage, parts on the side of the track, does warrant this safety car. And we've got double stacking going on at Red Bull. That is Max Verstappen being held up by his teammate, Sergio Perez. The Mercedes duo are not going to have the same issue, because it looks as though Bottas decided to stay out, which may come at a great cost to him. Anyway, there goes Nicholas Latifi, who's probably in the highest position that he's ever been in his life, up in P5, and we exit the pit lane, getting ready for the restart. We've now got Max Verstappen behind us, and a colourful selection of cars ahead of us at the restart. We've got Lewis Hamilton immediately ahead of us. There was no kind of joke about him there. I'm referring to the different drivers that we had. That sounded even worse. The different car liveries that we got in front of us. Somehow both Williams still up there in the top 10 now. Well, I guess because we've had a safety car, there's no overtaking. Anyway, I'm going to stop talking about that. Sergio Perez gets past Nicholas Latifi, one of the worst drivers that we've ever seen in the game, on the channel, in real life. Amazingly, he has not smashed up a single car in this career, which is a far stretch from where he is in real life at the moment. I think if he damages another car, he might as well just remortgage a house and try and pay for the damage with that. Anyway, we're just flying through the circuit now, aren't we? Sergio Perez up ahead, currently stuck behind Mick Schumacher and George Russell. Of course, this is playing into our hands quite nicely, because we have pitted already, as has Perez. But having these back markers in front of him, who are yet to stop, is hindering his progress and preventing him from breaking away, as we've seen the Red Bulls do on a couple of occasions now. Anyway, down the pit straight we go. Mick Schumacher is passed by Sergio Perez. They go side by side into turn 1, but Perez has already got track position ahead of Schumacher, so resistance is futile. We go up the inside into what could be turn 3. I'm not really sure. We've got the position from him. Now it's George Russell up ahead of us. As we jump to a bit further on in the lap, Perez still behind the Williams. As they come down now towards the final corner. And we'll be getting some DRS assistance now, I think. No, we won't. We will not be getting DRS assistance. Instead, we'll just have to go into the slipstream and try and get up the inside there as Perez swipes across us. Looks like we've taken a little bit of damage to the front wing there. A little bit of end plate missing as we come through the first few corners. Jack Aitken now, the final car ahead of us as we get the DRS. Jack Aitken once again featuring on the channel for being one of the last cars to stop and for being in the lead, having not stopped at all. So good for him, I suppose. We would like to go through at this stage and continue to duke it out for the top step of the podium. And, Jack Aitken, quite happy to sit right in the way. He's on the soft tyre and he's gone to lap 10 after a safety car, which is incredibly costly. Should he decide to come in a moment, he'll probably rejoin right at the back with Valtteri Bottas, who, of course, was smart enough to make his pit stop at the safety car restart, or the lap after the safety car restart. Anyway, now we've got Perez ahead of us, and Perez only. Jack Aitken has come in. We're going to go round the outside into turn 1, DRS open. What's Perez going to do this time? We run incredibly wide there. Perez has to do nothing at all. All he has to do is hold position, and we have to give it back to him. A great shame for us there, but a necessary sacrifice as we come down the end of the next DRS straight, and unfortunately not able to make any moves down there, at least for now. Let's go on board with that move though, which did not turn into anything. You can see the overspeed speed that we have on the Red Bull is quite considerable, but unfortunately the cornering power of the Red Bull is much better at the moment. But then nothing more to say on that at all, as we'll go on board with Sergio Perez now. Down into turn 1 they go. There we go, running wide. And then he actually took some evasive action whilst coming back onto the circuit there. Anyway, here we go. Round onto lap 12. DRS open for us. Perez has no DRS to assist. Not this time, as we go round the outside and we make it round before turn 1. We definitely stayed on the track there. There were no track limits exceeded, and we have successfully taken the lead of the Grand Prix. We do, of course, have to survive the next DRS zone, which is looking a little bit dangerous. Fortunately, he is left behind us. Well, we've fended off that move, but we've still got 6 laps to go. Moving down to 4 laps to go now, though, as we come around the final corner. Sergio Perez looking feisty again on our tail. We're going to take some evasive action. Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen closing in as Perez goes up the inside into turn 1. We definitely stay on the circuit through turn 1 there, as we're going to have to try and come back at Perez again now. The Red Bull ahead, moving quite quickly. Rapid he goes down towards the hairpin, and we haven't really made any progress there whatsoever. Funnily enough, that is quite shocking. What's more shocking is we rejoin on lap 17, the final lap, going around the final few corners. No progress made. In fact, we've actually lost grounds to Sergio Perez. I guess the tyres by this stage of the track of the race, I need to get more sleep at night, have just worn out. As we come across the line, we've had a massive accident there as we start to spin out and watch the rest of the field go flying by. Clearly decided to stay in front of the crowd to celebrate. We get driver of the day though, which counts for literally nothing so we can't really we can't really hold too much of a celebration over that. Anyway, yes, of course, something that I'm not really celebrating too much is not being able to get a better video format. It does annoy me that I can't do that, because I always feel as though nothing is perfect, and nothing that I produce is going to be perfect as well. I'm always looking to improve it. Unfortunately, just the circumstances that I'm in, I cannot just make a video in exactly the way that I would like to. I will, of course, get the opportunity when F122 comes out, but then I will lose the opportunity to continue making that style of video on a regular basis. So I'm at a bit of a dilemma at the moment, and I feel as though that sort of issue is holding the channel back slightly. But anyway, let's do the race results. And here are the race results. Of course, we know our podium already. We joined Perez and Hamilton up there. Then we had Max Verstappen, Carlos Sainz, Charles Leclerc, Pierre Gasly, Lando Norris, Yuki Tsunoda and Fernando Alonso rounding out the top 10. This means over in the Drivers' Championship we remain at the top of the table, but now Sergio Perez moves ahead of his teammate up into second. Then we have Max Verstappen, of course, in P3, 26 points behind us. Valtteri Bottas and Sean Gelael actually drop some positions there as Perez moves up, and they're followed by Carlos Sainz, Pierre Gasly, Daniel Ricciardo, Lewis Hamilton and Lando Norris rounding out the top 10. Further down the order we have Yuki Tsunoda, Charles Leclerc, Esteban Ocon, Lance Stroll, Fernando Alonso rounds out the final point scorer, followed by Jack Aitken, George Russell, Antonio Giovinazzi, Mick Schumacher, Christian Lundgaard, and quite rightly at the bottom, Nikita Mazepin and Nicholas Latifi. And finally, over to the Constructors' Championship. Radiant Racing, of course, we remain 3 points ahead of our rivals Red Bull after 3 rounds of the season. Then we're followed by Mercedes, Ferrari, who move up a position, then AlphaTauri and McLaren on 28 points apiece. Then we have Alpine, Aston Martin, Williams, Alfa Romeo and Haas. That's all for now. We'll catch you in the next one.